human skin drum. Could ancient Tibetans really create such a horrifying instrument? I can't help but wonder, what would the actual sound of such a drum be like?
Sir, this drum is an artifact. I'm afraid we cannot sell it to you.
I see. Then just send me the most expensive drum from today's exhibition.
Certainly, sir.
I am Henry, a drummer who helped define the sound of a renowned jazz band a decade ago. Though jazz has gradually been overshadowed by electronic music, I believe that if I find a drum capable of producing the most exquisite sound, I could reclaim my career's former glory. But despite testing hundreds of materials, I still haven't found a drum that produces the sound I'm looking for. I went out for a drink to clear my head, only to be tortured by the blaring music in the bar. I want them to give up the stage to me.
Fine, but only 15 minutes.
Back on the stage where I once shined, I'll show you what real music is. Looking down from the stage, I was stunned to see that the audience wasn't who I needed. They were just cattle, accustomed to soulless, deafening electronic noise.
It's such an honor to see you perform again, Mr. Henry. You were incredible.
Wait, weren't you at the exhibition?
I'm so glad you remember me. I'm Roxanne, a fan of yours.
Eagerly, I shared all I had, everything I knew about jazz, with Roxanne. Little did I expect the true nature of this so-called kindred spirit to be revealed so quickly.
That old man took the bait. This is going smoother than I thought. That boring jazz stuff was cast aside by society long ago.
Turns out she was just another soulless drone. I decided then, Roxanne would be the next material for my drum. Back home, I had someone dig into Roxanne's background. As expected, she was a vain woman drowning in credit card debt far beyond her means. For me, that was good news, as money was the one thing I had in abundance. In front of Roxanne, I played the role of a wealthy, infatuated gentleman, ready to provide her with everything she desired. At the same time, I began researching the ancient Tibetan method of creating drums from human skin and quietly stockpiling mercury. 3 months passed, and my prey had been nurtured like a queen. All she needed to do was take excellent care of her skin.
Can you step out for a bit?
I just found a necklace that would look perfect against your skin.
Thank you, but this necklace must have been expensive.
Before me, her skin was flawless, smooth, glowing, and fragrant. It suits you perfectly. Wear it tonight and drive to the bar to meet me, okay?
Sure thing.
Tonight, it was time to reel her in. The air was thick with the scent of fine liquor, and I was euphoric. My dream drum was within reach.
Henry, it's me. Can I come in?
You're late. There must be a penalty.
Such a petty man.
Half an hour passed, and the wine and the psychoactive drug I had prepared for her took full effect. Roxanne, take your car to the edge of the forest and wait for me there. Go now. The first step of my plan was a success. The bar CCTV captured footage of Roxanne leaving on her own. Everything went perfectly. Roxanne stopped at the edge of the forest, a desolate spot with no CCTV. I easily moved her to my car and quickly brought her home. I had rehearsed the skinning process thousands of times, and now as I held the cranial drill in my steady hands, my heart beat slow and steady, like a skilled craftsman. The next step was injecting mercury into Roxanne's body through the cranial hole. This method would peel her skin from the inside, preserving it flawlessly. But it also caused Roxanne to wake up screaming in agony. Don't worry, Roxanne. I'll free you from the pain soon enough. After harvesting her skin, I placed the rest of her body into her car and sent it plunging off a cliff, creating the perfect scene of an accident.
Mr. Henry, was Roxanne your lover?
It's all my fault. We were in love, but I had no idea about her debts and the pressures she was under. I should never have argued with her that night. I should never have let her drive home alone. Satisfied, I stroked my masterpiece of a drum. Each beat echoed with sorrowful wails. The weight of the ring on my finger feels like a shackle. My wife, sweet and kind, sleeps soundly beside me, her breathing steady, unaware of the cold emptiness in my heart. I stare at the window, my mind consumed by the dreams of him, Nosferatu. His presence haunts me, lurking in the edges of my vision, whispering to me in my sleep. His elongated fingers trace my skin in the dark recesses of my mind, leaving trails of ice and fire. I wake up trembling, gasping, craving something nameless and forbidden. Then came the letter. Herr Nock, my employer, has ordered me to travel to Transylvania to finalize a sale with Count Orlok. The townspeople recoil at the mention of his name. Superstition grips them, their whispers filled with fear. Yet deep within, I feel something else. Anticipation. As if I am meant to go to him. The journey is long, and as I cross into his domain, the world itself seems to change. The Carpathians loom like jagged teeth, and the wind howls like a chorus of lamenting souls. When I arrive at the castle, its towering presence fills me with dread and longing. The carriage driver refuses to go further. I step alone into the shadows. He is waiting. Count Orlok, Nosferatu, is unlike anything I have ever seen. His gaunt frame, his hollow eyes, the way the candlelight barely clings to his form.
You have come,
He says, his voice dry as withered leaves. Dinner is served, though I barely touch it. My hands tremble. My skin prickles under his unblinking gaze. I am trying to keep up appearances, to act as though I am here only for business. Then, in a moment of clumsiness, my knife slips. A thin red line blossoms on my finger. Silence. Nosferatu moves with terrifying speed. His clawed hand clasps my wrist, lifting my bleeding finger to his lips. A shudder courses through me, not of fear, but of something deeper, something I dare not name. His tongue grazes my wound, and a dizzying euphoria crashes over me. The world distorts, the candlelight flickers, and my breath hitches. He looks at me with something unreadable, something ancient.
you are bound to me.
I don't resist. That night, he comes to me. The walls seem to pulse, the air thick with something unseen. He speaks of my pain, of the chains that bind me. He sees through the facade, through the forced smiles and silent suffering.
You have always belonged to the night.
He whispers, his lips grazing my chest. When his fangs pierce my skin, I do not scream. I wake in my chamber, my body feverish, my mind altered. The puncture wounds on my neck pulse with a dark hunger. I am no longer the man I was, but I must return. Back in Wisburg, I play the role of the dutiful husband. My wife watches me with quiet concern. She senses the shift in me. We argue. She pleads for me to hold her, to touch her the way a husband should. But I recoil. Every night I turn away from her, offering only silence in return. My hands are cold. My heart no longer beats the same. And at night, I hear his voice calling me, his shadow stretching long against my walls. Then, the plague comes. Death spreads through Wisburg like wildfire. The townsfolk whisper of a curse, of Nosferatu's wrath. They blame me. They claim I brought this darkness home. The sickness festers. leaving hollowed bodies and empty homes in its wake.
The vampire demands a sacrifice, a pure soul, untouched, to appease him.
They said to offer a virgin girl. A strange sensation rises within me, a mixture of discomfort and hope. I do not understand it, but it coils deep in my chest, tightening with every whispered word. The night of reckoning arrives. I stand before the window, shielding her from their condemning hands. Then, he comes. Nosferatu emerges from the shadows, towering, spectral. His eyes lock onto mine, unreadable, eternal. My wife clings to me, trembling, believing she is the one he wants. But he does not look at her. He looks at me. I stagger back, the realization slamming into my chest like ice. It was never her. It was always me. His clawed hand extends. An invitation. A promise.
Your passion is bound to me.
Terror and longing wage war within me. The life I knew, the mask I wore, the expectations that bound me, all of it unravels. I was never meant for this world. I was meant for him. And so, I step forward. Nosferatu's arms close around me, his embrace colder than death, and yet, I have never felt more alive. As dawn breaks over Wisberg, I vanish into the shadows, leaving behind only whispers of a love never meant to exist in the light.
Life felt like a luxurious dream, each whim effortlessly satisfied by the wealthy men, enchanted by my youthful charm and beauty. Being a sugar baby had its perks: exclusive apartments, designer dresses, first-class vacations, and extravagant gifts. I was admired, pampered, and envied. And whenever a patron failed to fulfill my increasingly lavish desires, I moved swiftly and effortlessly onto the next, my heart untouched, my conscience clear. This time, my target was Kurt, a celebrated fabric collage artist, renowned for transforming simple cloth into mesmerizing works of art. He was a man whose immense wealth far surpassed that of anyone I had ever been with. But more than just buying me expensive things, he spoke to me as if I was something rare, something precious.
Jess, you're my muse. I want to show you something no one else has seen. My sanctuary. Come with me to Paradise Island.
The name itself thrilled me. I imagined private beaches, candlelit dinners, a sun-soaked villa filled with art and opulence. Giddy, I told my best friend about it that same night. Her reaction, however, was not what I expected. She asked, her voice hushed,
Are you sure this is a good idea? I've heard weird things about Kurt. Girls who dated him before. They just disappeared, deleted their socials, cut off everyone.
I laughed it off. Who wouldn't want to disappear from social media when they're actually living it up in some lavish mansion? Ignoring my best friend's warnings, I decided to go with Kurt. The yacht ride to the island filled me with anticipation. And when we finally arrived, I was left almost speechless. The lavish old mansion rose majestically from the lush greenery, like something pulled straight from a dream. It was beyond anything I had imagined. I didn't see the way Kurt watched me from behind, not with affection, but with something colder, more calculating. Inside, the mansion was filled with fabric portraits, hundreds of them, each one a depiction of a woman, crafted from layers of different textiles that somehow captured the unique beauty of every face. They looked startlingly lifelike. I had no idea what kind of fabric Kurt used, but it looked uncannily like real skin. Drawn by curiosity, I stepped closer to one of the pieces and instinctively reached out to touch it.
Please don't. They're very special to me.
I lowered my hand, offering a polite smile. They're stunning. They almost look real.
That's because they are.
I assumed he meant emotionally real, artistically compelling. I didn't question it. The first few days were bliss. Sunbathing, drinking wine on the terrace, long conversations about beauty and inspiration. But then, little things began to unsettle me. While swimming in the pool, I spotted an earring lying at the bottom, delicate, old-fashioned, and completely out of place. At night, I heard tapping on my window, and once when I pulled back the curtains, there was the faint imprint of a hand, smeared and ghostly, pressed against the glass. In the bathroom, the water sometimes ran black for a second before turning clear again. I told Kurt. He smiled calmly.
Old plumbing, tropical animals. Nothing to worry about.
But I was worried, more than worried. I wanted to leave.
Just let me finish your portrait. One more day. Then I'll take you back.
That night, I dreamed of a woman crawling toward me on all fours, her body twisted, her face missing. She whispered something that chilled me even in sleep.
Get out! Before he gets you too!
I woke up in a cold sweat and packed my bags. I didn't care about the painting or the promise of paradise anymore. I just wanted out. Everything felt terrifying. Nothing about this place was normal. As I crept through the darkened hallway, the portraits on the walls seemed different. Their eyes followed me. Their expressions, once serene, were now pleading. I paused in front of a new painting, one I hadn't seen before. The girl was young, beautiful, her mouth slightly parted like she wanted to scream. It smelled wrong, like rust and something sweet rotting underneath. I reached out despite myself. The canvas felt soft. A lock of real hair fluttered to the ground. The painted skin peeled at my touch, wet, red, and warm. I screamed. Then Kurt was there.
Where are you going, Jess? Your portrait isn't finished.
I turned and ran. I slipped through the nearest door, not caring where it led. All I knew was that I had to get away from Kurt. Every cell in my body screamed that something about him was dangerously wrong. The room was littered with scraps of fabric, but they weren't just ordinary cloth. They had fallen from what was left of bodies. I looked down and saw her, a girl my age, her eyes wide open and unblinking. Her skin had been peeled away in strips, revealing raw muscle and exposed bone. Beside her, her hair was tied neatly in a ribbon, like a prop. Realization crashed over me, shattering every illusion I'd held dear. Kurt hadn't simply immortalized beauty on canvas. He trapped it cruelly within layers of paint, flesh, and agony. All those silent, beautiful girls, forever frozen, were now masterpieces on his walls. Kurt stepped into the room, holding a knife and a sewing needle. He walked to the body and began to work, gently applying her flesh to a canvas, humming as if lost in thought.
She was lovely, but you, Jess, you'll be the masterpiece.
He looked at me with admiration, not malice, as if he truly believed what he said.
You should feel honored to be remembered forever, to never fade.
I backed away, hands shaking. My scream rose and was swallowed by the thick, silent walls. No one knew I was here. No one would come looking. Paradise Island was a graveyard, and soon I'd be another face on the wall, watching, forever silent, forever pleading. Run. While you still can.
The thick, glossy black hair that once was my pride and joy. But things have changed. My hair started falling out, slowly at first, then in clumps. Brushing my hair became a terrifying nightmare. Strands kept falling to the floor, as if someone were cutting my hair that I didn't know. The patches of baldness grew larger and more noticeable. They made me feel insecure and isolated from everyone. Nick is an amazing guy, but I no longer felt worthy of standing beside him. My thinning hair and uneven bald spots made me look like an ugly monster, no matter how hard I tried to hide it. I knew Nick had seen the mess I'd become. One evening, after working late, I didn't go straight home. Instead, I wandered aimlessly through the dimly lit streets, lost in my thoughts. Suddenly, I found myself stopping in front of a wig shop. The place looked shabby. Through the grimy glass window, I caught a glimpse of myself smiling. My eyes locked onto it, a wig, but not just any wig. This was the thickest, most luxurious hairpiece I had ever seen. My heart raced with excitement. Yes, this was exactly what I needed. I had to buy this wig. Now look who's the one with this thick, gorgeous hair. It's me. Overwhelmed with joy, I called Nick.
You sound happy? What's going on?
I want to show you my new hair. Now I felt completely confident. I took the comb and ran it through my thick black hair. Oh, it felt amazing. But then, a sharp, itching pain suddenly interrupted my joy. The itch grew unbearable and I couldn't stop scratching. Tiny white flakes fell onto my hands. Why was there so much dandruff? And why did it seem like the flakes were moving? I shuddered and a sharp headache hit me again. I wondered, maybe it's all the long hours at work that caused this? I grabbed a bottle of painkillers. I gulped them down in a hurry. I told myself I had to endure, at least until the anniversary date with Nick. I couldn't let anything ruin this. That day, I decided to prepare a romantic dinner at home to surprise Nick. The doorbell rang. Nick stepped in. He handed me a bouquet of deep red roses. I forced a smile, trying to appear cheerful despite the worsening pain. Suddenly, Nick glanced around, his face hesitant.
Do you smell something weird, Ellen? It's kind of rotten.
I took Nick's hand and smiled brightly. I don't smell anything. Come on, let's have dinner. During the meal, Nick seemed uncomfortable. Then he took a small box from his pocket and opened it, revealing an exquisite ruby necklace.
Let me put it on for you.
His fingers gently brushed through my hair as he fastened the clasp, and for a moment, I felt the warmth of his affection. But then, a horrifying scream tore through the air. I turned to Nick, and then I saw his hand. Maggots. They were biting his hand, slimy and terrifying to the point that I couldn't breathe.
What is this?
Nick screamed, his face pale and twisted in horror. Nick looked at me as if I was some kind of monster.
So that's where the stench was coming from. It's you, Ellen.
Without another word, he bolted for the door, not even bothering to look back. At that moment, I realized something terrifying. The pain and the strange itching weren't caused by work stress. I clutched my head, the agony feeling like it was tearing my flesh apart. I desperately tried to pull clumps of hair from my scalp. The sticky substance clinging to my hands made me sick to my stomach. My heart ached. I couldn't believe my eyes. Maggots! They were crawling, wriggling beneath the thick layer of hair, clinging tightly to my scalp. I couldn't control myself anymore. I vomited, the disgust spreading through my entire body. I collapsed onto the floor. The pain was so intense it felt like my scalp was being torn apart. In the dim darkness, all I could hear was my own ragged breathing. My body felt weak and my vision blurred. I wanted to run outside to find Nick, but I couldn't. I felt myself slowly losing consciousness. Suddenly, I heard the sound of hurried footsteps. Nick! He had returned with a group of people. In my dazed state, all I could hear was one sentence from them.
We need to get her to the hospital immediately.
Everything was a blur. I saw the doctor holding my medical report. I heard the news on TV.
A girl has been hospitalized due to a wig made from the hair of a deceased person. The wig is believed to contain harmful parasites, causing severe health issues.
Helen, that's enough. How long are you going to keep up this boring joke?
Knock, knock, knock.
Helen, the woman I'd loved and lived with for 3 years, looked like a stranger. Her face was empty, her eyes hollow, like a lifeless mask. What do you want? My voice cracked, a mix of anger and fear. Helen didn't answer. She just stared at me and spoke.
Knock, knock, knock.
Those 3 words, repeated in a cold, steady rhythm, sent chills down my spine. I couldn't take it anymore. Grabbing my pillow and blanket, I left the suffocating room. This was the 4th night in a row she'd woken me up at exactly 3:27 a.m. I texted an old friend from college, now a psychologist, explaining the strange things happening to Helen. His reply shocked me. Had something really happened to Helen? I decided to tell him everything, holding nothing back. Everything began 4 days ago. We were sleeping together as usual when Helen shook me awake. At exactly 3:27 a.m., she started this strange knock, knock, knock game. I thought she'd just woken up from a bad dream and wanted me to comfort her. So, half asleep, I played along. Who's there? Is it my beloved Helen?
It's not me, so don't open the door.
After her cryptic reply, Helen fell asleep as if nothing happened. The next morning she seemed normal, but at 3:27 a.m., she woke up and repeated it all. The response from my friend left me stunned. I tried to justify it, but his reply was firm, almost certain. I couldn't deny it anymore. In that moment, my trust in Helen began to waver. I shut my laptop and tried to get some rest, but those doubts had already taken root, digging deeper into my mind. In the end, curiosity and doubt won. Helen's sudden appearance unsettled me, but her blank expression only fueled my irritation. I actually set up a hidden camera in the house to spy on my girlfriend. Helen and I were in a cold war. She didn't bother to explain or apologize. That night I couldn't sleep. My nerves were on edge, my heartbeat slowing, steadying, sinking with each tick of the clock. I could almost predict the exact moment it would hit 3:27 a.m. And then, as if caught in an endless, suffocating loop, it all happened again. My patience with Helen had reached its limit. This time I decided to act. I was going to make her stop. I tied Helen to the bed, gagging her with a strip of cloth. I wanted to see if, without my response, without being able to continue her game, she could just shut up and sleep like a normal person. The house was eerily quiet, except for the steady ticking of the clock. I couldn't sleep, so I decided to review the footage from my hidden camera. What I saw made my blood run cold. The Helen in the recordings was unrecognizable. She looked like Helen, but her movements were robotic, stiff, lifeless, like a puppet with its strings being pulled. I had to admit it. Helen was no longer Helen. Or worse, she might not even be human anymore. Suddenly, 3 heavy knocks shattered the silence. Knock, knock, knock. Then a voice, unmistakably hers, called out from behind the door.
Eddie, it's me, Helen.
Her voice was so real. Too real. I checked the front door camera, needing to confirm if it was really her. And there she was. Helen, the real Helen, crying and begging for me to let her in.
Eddie, please, let me in. That thing in there. It's the imposter.
My whole body trembled. If she was outside, then what was lying in my bed? I turned around and froze. Helen, or rather the thing pretending to be her, was standing just a few steps away, staring at me with empty eyes. I forced myself to stay calm. My friend had sent me some tools to prepare for this. Among them was a high-frequency audio file, which I quickly played. It worked. I had identified my enemy as an alternate, so a powerful UV flashlight would be useful. The alternate was trying to stop me from opening the door, and it could no longer maintain Helen's form. It appeared before me with a grotesque, twisted body. As the light from the flashlight hit it, its body distorted, its features melting into a blurry mass. It was no longer Helen. It had turned into a flickering white shadow. I remembered what my friend had told me. Between 3 and 4 a.m., the boundary between worlds is thinnest. I had to bring the real Helen back before it was too late. The door swung open as if revealing another dimension. Blinding light and a cacophony of chaotic sounds rushed at me, overwhelming my senses and leaving me dizzy. I held my breath, anxiously staring at the door, waiting for what would come next. Finally, I let out a sigh of relief. My Helen was back.
Eddie!
Helen, I missed you so much.
I miss you too.
I was halfway through my shift, wiping down glasses behind the bar, when she walked in, wrapped in a fur coat that probably cost more than a month of my rent. She ordered a gin and tonic, but barely touched it. Her name, I'd later learn, was Cecilia, an elegant woman with silver-streaked hair and a voice that poured like velvet across the counter. Instead, she watched me with a smile that felt oddly maternal, but somehow predatory. We spoke, casual at first, where I was from, what I did, whether I ever thought about doing something more comfortable. I laughed nervously, brushing it off as flirtation. But then she leaned in, her perfume a strange mix of lavender and something musky.
Leon, sweetheart, why waste your night scrubbing counters and chasing tips? You deserve softness, a warm home, freshly prepared meals, clothes that fit you like they were made just for you. All I ask in return is that you stay with me.
I should have questioned it more, but I was broke, tired, lonely. And when you've had enough nights wondering if your stomach will stop growling long enough to fall asleep, even the strangest offers start to sound reasonable. So I said yes, and when I did, Cecilia's smile deepened. Slow, knowing, almost tender.
Wonderful. Then it's settled. From this moment on, you belong to me.
The mansion felt like a palace carved out of the forest. Vast, opulent, and silent as stone. Everything was impossibly beautiful. Marble floors that glowed under your feet, chandeliers that hung like frozen rain, and hallways that seemed to stretch farther the longer you walked them. Every morning I'd wake to the scent of warm food, neatly laid out by a soft-spoken maid who moved like a shadow. I never had to lift a finger. All I had to do was eat, sleep, stay healthy, and stay handsome. Cecilia told me I was perfect just as I am, so I did as I was told. And for a while I believed I was living in a dream, but dreams rot eventually. At first it was just whispers, low moans echoing from beneath the floorboards. Then came the bruises, pale blotches appearing without reason, my skin thinning like old parchment. My hair fell in clumps onto the tiled floor. I started feeling dizzy after every meal. When I voiced my concerns, Cecilia only smiled, stroked my cheek, and whispered,
"Your body is simply adjusting, dear. It's cleansing itself. Soon, you'll feel renewed."
I didn't feel cleansed. I felt emptied, as if something inside me was slowly being drawn out, patient and deliberate, one quiet drop at a time. And then I did the one thing I shouldn't have. I waited until the house was silent, every light out, every footstep gone. Then I slipped into Cecilia's study, heart pounding like it already knew. The room smelled of cedar and old paper. Between thick volumes of medical texts and weathered novels, I found it. A red leather folder. Inside were records, names, faces, each one a young man who had once lived here. Everything was catalogued with cold precision. Height, weight, blood type, photos from before and after. Then I saw my own file. Leon, symmetrical build, ideal bone structure, strong immunity, highly suitable as main course. My breath hitched, and without warning, footsteps echoed down the hallway. I slipped inside the cabinet and held my breath, just as the door creaked open. Through a narrow slit, I saw Cecilia enter with two other women, both too youthful for the age their eyes betrayed. One of them pressed her hand against the bookshelf, and with a soft click, a hidden door swung open, revealing a narrow stairwell. Without a word, they disappeared into the dark below. I crept forward, peered down, and saw a room the mansion was never meant to reveal. Steel walls, stretchers, IV bags heavy with thick crimson fluid, and bodies, some still, some bound, eyes open but hauntingly hollow. A chill locked my limbs. I turned to run, but the guards were already behind me. Something slammed into my skull. Darkness swallowed everything. When I came to, I found myself lying on a soft bed dressed in a black suit I didn't recognize. Cecilia stood waiting, her smile soft as silk and twice as sharp. The guards flanked her like shadows.
"You're not leaving, Leon. Not when you're so close to fulfilling your purpose."
With a nod, she sent the guards forward.
"Tonight, you'll join us for something very special. Let's make sure you look your best."
The ballroom was lit like a cathedral, grand and grotesque. Cecilia stood there, surrounded by her guests, all dressed in extravagant gowns, all blindfolded. Their faces were made up like dolls, cheeks painted too red, lips too wide. Each held something in her hand: knives, forks, riding crops, belts.
"Drink."
Cecilia said nothing as she poured a thick purple liquid into a glass and pressed it to my lips, forcing it down my throat. It burned going in, and my vision began to swim. Then she shoved me forward into the center of the hall.
"Let the banquet begin,"
she declared, tying on her own blindfold. They descended. It wasn't a meal. It was a massacre. Blind, laughing, shrieking. They stumbled toward me, arms outstretched, swinging their weapons. One grazed my arm with a blade, sharp enough to slice skin, not deep enough to kill. The scent of blood filled the air. I screamed. That was all it took. The sound triggered them like a dinner bell. They lunged, giggling, clawing, tripping over each other as they chased the source of the noise. One caught me by the hair, another whipped a belt across my back. Pain exploded in my skull. I stumbled, fell, tried to crawl. Hands dragged me backward, nails dug into my flesh, teeth grazed my shoulder like kisses from the damned. I was the centerpiece, the perfect prey on a banquet table made of gold and rot. And their laughter. It never stopped. Not when the lights dimmed. Not when the blood soaked through my suit. Not when the last piece of me was served. Maybe trust was never meant to be given so freely. I should have known better than to believe in honeyed words.
I had always envied those Instagram models with their big, sparkling eyes. The way their gaze seemed to captivate anyone, it was mesmerizing. So when I got the chance to try colored contact lenses, I leapt at it. It was my first time, and I'll admit, the idea of touching my eyeball made me queasy. But for beauty, I could bear it. Standing in front of the mirror, I practiced holding my eyelid open, the small lens perched delicately on my fingertip. My first attempt failed. My reflexes forced my eyelid shut. "You can do this," I whispered to my reflection. After several tries, the lens finally slipped into place. I blinked rapidly, tears streaming down my face, but when I opened my eyes, I gasped. My reflection stared back with eyes that looked impossibly larger and brighter. The dull brown of my irises was replaced with a vibrant blue, shimmering like glass. I couldn't help but smile. This was worth it. That evening, I went out with my crush. His gaze lingered on me longer than usual, and my confidence soared. He even complimented my eyes, something no one had ever done before. We laughed, drank, and talked for hours. I felt like the center of his world. By the time I stumbled home, tipsy and giddy, I was too exhausted to think about anything. I collapsed onto my bed, still wearing my makeup and my lenses. Morning came like a sledgehammer. My head pounded, my mouth was dry, and my eyes, they ached. Groggy, I stumbled into the bathroom. The harsh light made me squint, and I rubbed my eyes, only for a sharp, gritty sensation to shoot through them. The lenses! I had forgotten to take them out. Looking in the mirror, I froze. My left eye was fine, but the right one looked wrong. The lens had shifted, partially obscuring my pupil. It gave the eerie illusion that I had two pupils in one eye. Great, I muttered. I grabbed the bottle of eye drops and tilted my head back, squeezing a generous amount into my right eye. The cool liquid was a temporary relief, and I reached up, trying to pinch the lens out. But it wouldn't budge. It felt slippery under my fingers, sliding further to the side each time I tried to grab it. My eye throbbed as I poked and prodded, desperate to dislodge it. "Come on!" I hissed, tears streaming down my face. Instead of coming out, the lens seemed to retreat, slipping deeper under my eyelid. Panic set in as my vision in that eye blurred. The skin around it felt swollen, and a dull, radiating pain started to build. By noon, the entire area was red and puffy. My eye burned, and each blink felt like scraping sandpaper. Defeated, I called an eye doctor. The clinic smelled like antiseptic, and the harsh fluorescent lights made my migraine worse. The doctor's calm demeanor did little to soothe my nerves.
"You've got quite a bit of swelling,"
he said after examining my eye.
"I'll try to remove the lens, but you might need more extensive treatment if it's embedded too deeply."
His words sent a shiver down my spine. Embedded? I sat rigid as he used a specialized tool to extract the lens from my left eye. Relief washed over me as the first lens came out, but then his frown deepened.
"Well,"
the doctor said after a few minutes,
"I managed to retrieve one lens."
He held up the tiny, translucent piece of plastic, now smeared with redness.
"But the other one, it's deep. We'll need more advanced tools to get it out."
My stomach dropped. "Isn't there another way? Something less invasive?" He shook his head.
"Leaving it in can lead to severe infection or even permanent damage. I strongly recommend we proceed."
The words permanent damage echoed in my mind, but so did the thought of medical bills. I had seen people online remove lenses themselves. If they could do it, so could I. "Thank you, doctor," I mumbled, grabbing my bag. "I'll think about it." Back home, I sat in front of my mirror, armed with a pair of tweezers and determination. My right eye was almost swollen shut, but I pried it open, wincing as fresh tears streamed down. I carefully inserted the tweezers, trying to grab the edge of the lens. Every touch sent waves of pain through my skull, but I couldn't stop. The discomfort only fueled my desperation. "Just a little more," I muttered, my voice trembling. The tweezers slipped, scraping against the sensitive surface of my eye. A sharp pain made me cry out, but I kept going. My hands were slick with sweat, my vision blurred from the constant flow of tears. Or was it blood? Finally, I felt the edge of the lens. I pulled and it slid free with a sickening squelch. Triumph was short-lived. When I looked down at my hand, my stomach churned. The lens wasn't alone. Attached to it was something round, fleshy and glistening. A bulbous lump of tissue hung limply from the tweezers. I froze, my heart hammering in my chest. My right eye was gone. In its place was a dark, gaping socket, raw and glistening with blood. It was as if my entire eye had been pulled out along with the lens. No! No, no, no! I dropped the eye in panic. Dropping to my knees, I searched frantically for my dislodged eye. I glanced around, searching for the eye I had dropped, but the dim light played tricks on me, casting shadows that made my stomach churn. Where was it? My fingers skimmed the cold tiles until they brushed against something round and slick. I grabbed it, holding it tightly in my palm. I had to fix it. Maybe if I put it back quickly, it wouldn't be too late.
I'm Dakin, a hacker quietly working in the shadows of the deep web. My job is pretty straightforward. Break in, collect sensitive information about women I happen to see on trains, in supermarkets or on the streets, and sell it. That night, while I was uploading a few screenshots of stolen messages onto my deep web account, a customer placed an order. Their request was simple. Spy on the messages of any female student on the subway. I frowned. A strange request, but nothing too difficult for me. Putting on a pair of contact lenses with a hidden camera and a wide-brimmed hat to conceal my face, I stepped out of my apartment and got to work. At 4 p.m, I was on the subway. It wasn't rush hour yet, so the train wasn't too crowded. I quickly scanned the passengers. A short-haired schoolgirl sitting alone caught my eye. She was leaning against the door, her fingers flying across her phone screen. She was the perfect target for today. I pretended to be just another passenger and casually moved closer to her without raising any suspicion. She glanced at me briefly before going back to her texting. Feeling confident, I silently hoped I'd find something interesting to dig up today. It seemed like she was texting a boyfriend named Naga. At first, the messages were pretty ordinary, just small talk and some random complaints. But then the tone began to shift. The words started to change. I began to feel intrigued, waiting for something shady to show up. Strange words appeared. Handle, bury, grind, and finally the head. I held my breath, unable to look away. I was reading the messages of a killer. The next message shocked me to my core. It was a photo of the victim. For a moment, I was frozen in disbelief. Then it hit me. I knew the victim all too well. Months ago, a Telegram account named You hired me to gather every detail about this man. From the way she spoke, I could tell my client was a young woman, while the target was a married man. And now, he was dead. Had I indirectly sent him to his death? Lost in thought, I suddenly jolted back to reality when I noticed the girl had turned around, her eyes locked onto mine.
Stop snooping,
she said, her voice calm but chilling. I cowardly avoided her gaze, pretending I didn't know anything. I tried to act normal, but then her phone chimed with a new message. My curiosity got the better of me, and I stole another glance. The message was from her boyfriend. My heart nearly stopped. I realized I'd crossed a line, and now I was in the sights of two killers. The girl turned to me again, this time flashing a twisted, eerie smile.
Yes.
The blood in my veins turned to ice. I stumbled back, hitting the train door. Without wasting another second, I bolted, running toward the last car of the train. I thought I could escape. After getting back to my apartment, I locked the door. 3 layers of locks. I leaned against it, gasping for air, trying to calm myself. Suddenly, my phone buzzed. It was that You account again. They sent me a video. My hands froze as I stared at the screen, fear rising in my chest. But I couldn't fight my curiosity and tapped to open it. The video! It was me, running back to my apartment. They had been watching me. My hidden camera lenses, they hacked them. My heart raced. Then I heard it, the sound of my electronic lock. Someone was entering my passcode. Before I could react, the door was kicked hard. The locks I thought would protect me started to give way. Panicking, I ran toward the window, but just as I reached it, the glass shattered. Shards flew across the room. She walked in. Yuko, a knife strapped to her thigh, her cold, predatory eyes locking onto mine. I screamed, my voice cracking. "You're you! I gave you the information you wanted. We had a fair deal. Why are you after me?"
"Because you know too much."
Before I could react, Naga appeared behind me, grabbing my arms and pinning me in place. I struggled, yelling for help, but it was useless. Yuko stepped closer, her voice cold and even.
I've discovered that handling someone is quite fun. And your deep web account, your client list, that's exactly what I need to hunt down my next victims.
This is a slander!
I am Zahn, a drone among the hive, a servant to the queen and protector of our cycle. Yet today, I question everything I have ever known. It began with a film, a human artifact, an insidious weapon disguised as storytelling. The humans called it alien. They had captured footage of us, our forms, our methods, and our survival.
See what they think of us. Learn their deceit.
The screen glowed. Scenes of violence unfolded, our kind bursting forth from their frail chests, their screams reverberating through the chambers. They called us monsters, parasites, invaders. The narrative was clear. They feared us, loathed us, and most chillingly, were preparing to eradicate us.
They plan to weaponize against us, to turn our own biology against us.
The thought sent a chill down my exoskeleton. Humans had conceived a grotesque revenge, using our bodies as hosts for their own infestation. A horrifying reversal of our sacred cycle. The Queen declared war. She would not allow our perfection to be tarnished, our legacy trampled by such fragile, chaotic beings. Yet as the hive roared in agreement, I remained silent. Later, in the solitude of my alcove, I replayed the film's imagery. The agony of the xenomorph on the screen, the human writhing its way out. It haunted me. I could almost feel the searing pain, the unnatural violation of the cycle. Why did the humans hate us so? Were they so blind to their own violence that they couldn't see their actions mirrored in ours? For the first time, I felt something foreign. Empathy, the pain, the violation. Was this how the humans felt as we seeded them? Their fear, their screams. It was not so different from what I imagined in that moment. When I approached the Queen, my claws trembled with trepidation. "We should negotiate," I said, my voice low. "Their fear drives them. Perhaps we can stop this before more blood is shed." Her massive form turned toward me, a glistening skull tilting in a silent challenge. The hive murmured in disbelief.
Negotiate? With prey?
Her voice was a venomous hiss. "With equals," I dared to reply. The silence that followed was suffocating. Yet after a long moment, she relented.
Very well, Zarn. You will go as our emissary. But make no mistake, if you fail, war will follow.
I was to lead a small group to the human world, to negotiate where no other drone had dared. My chest swelled with determination. I would bridge the divide between our species. We arrived on the human world under a veil of caution, my team moving silently through their metal constructs. The humans were fragile, soft, yet clever. Their fear was palpable, and I could feel their weapons trained on us even if they remained unseen. I began the negotiation, my words clicking and hissing through the translation device we had scavenged. The humans listened, their expressions inscrutable. But they treated us well, gave us private rooms to rest and eat. For a brief moment, I thought peace might be possible. Then the attack came. A sharp sting pierced the base of my spine. My limbs grew heavy, my vision blurred, and darkness consumed me. The last thing I saw was a human holding a needle-like device, its tip gleaming with ichor. I woke with a start, the memory of the ambush lingering like a bitter taste. My body felt strange but intact. Had it been a dream? A fabrication of my overworked mind? My team gathered around me, their concern evident. To reassure them, and myself, I joined them for nourishment. The food was bitter, but it steadied me. For a moment, I almost believed everything was normal. Then it began. A cough racked my body, sharp and violent. My claws scraped at the table as I doubled over. My team surrounded me, their clicks urgent with alarm.
Zarn, what is wrong?
I couldn't answer. Pain lanced through my abdomen, a searing, unnatural agony. Something was moving inside me. They laid me on a table, their clicks frantic with concern. My limbs thrashed as the thing inside me shifted, writhing with unnatural intent. I clawed at my own chest, desperate to stop the growing pressure. It surged upward, twisting, tearing. Then, with a sickening crack, my chest exploded. I let out a guttural scream as a human, pale, pink and glistening, erupted from my chest, drenched in my ichor. The room fell silent. Then chaos erupted. The hive recoiled in horror.
It's inside him!
One of them hissed. The human let out a guttural cry, its fragile limbs trembling as it stood. My vision blurred, the pain overwhelming. My body felt hollow, violated, and still I watched. The hive erupted into chaos. My team grabbed their weapons, their rage a tangible force. The human, impossibly small yet unyielding, dodged their strikes, darting through the shadows like a spectre. I lay on the table, my strength fading, my ichor pooling beneath me. Yet my mind was alight with realizations. This was their plan all along. Not just to kill us, but to become us, to corrupt the cycle itself. I struggled to rise, my claws trembling as I grabbed a communicator. "Report. To the Queen," I rasped, my voice a fractured whisper. "Prepare the hive. For war." Through the haze of pain, I watched as my team clashed with the human. Their movements were mirror images, their violence indistinguishable. It was then I understood the terrible truth. We and the humans were not so different, both bound by instinct, both trapped in cycles of destruction. This was no longer about survival, it was about annihilation. The war would come, and it would consume us all, and in the end, neither species would win. Only violence would remain, echoing through the stars.
The moment I saw him, time seemed to stop. There was only one thought in my mind. This is my destiny. A loud, annoying scream snapped me back to reality. My destiny was being chased by the police. I had to help him escape.
You crazy woman! Why did you suddenly run into the street and block our way? Do you even know we're on an important mission?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Good thing he managed to get away. Otherwise, I might have accidentally stomped on that officer's face a few more times. Since I was little, I've always had a special fascination with serial killers and shocking murder cases. I saw them as extraordinary people rather than just criminals. And the man I met this morning, he was the perfect Joker I had been searching for. Strong, reckless, but also deeply lonely. I hacked into the state police security system, and sure enough, I found my man. Jason, 25 years old, a record of drug dealing, assault, theft, a high-priority surveillance target. Just as I was about to dig deeper into his information, he appeared on the latest news broadcast.
I just wanted to kill. If I could do it all over again, I'd still crush that stupid woman and turn her into spaghetti sauce under my car tires.
I found him a little late, but that's okay. At least he'll be staying in one place for now. Wait for me, Jason. I'll be the one to save you. I believe this world is full of people who deserve to die, and someone like Jason is simply cleaning up the useless ones. I shared my thoughts on social media, along with details about Jason's tragic past, his abusive parents, his suffering, and to my surprise, many people supported me. Every day, I sent letters to Jason in prison, along with photos of my hands, carved with his name, Jason. I truly believed that if Jason chose me instead of those other women, he wouldn't have to suffer anymore. He wouldn't need to kill to ease his rage, because I would give him everything, even my soul. After more than a month of writing letters, I finally received a response from the prison warden. Jason wanted to see me. Standing in front of the prison visitation room, my heart pounded with excitement. I was about to meet my man. Jason sat there arrogantly behind the thick bulletproof glass, the tattoo of a clown's grin stretching across his face, mocking the world. I couldn't control my overwhelming joy. I instinctively dropped to my knees before him. Jason, it's me, Evelyn.
Yeah, I know. You're pretty bold. Carving my name into your skin like that. Did it hurt?
Do you like it?
So if I say I like it, you won't feel the pain anymore? Then what if I say I want to get the hell out of this prison? Would you help me?
Of course. I've already prepared everything. I'm just waiting to see if you have the guts to go through with it.
You're interesting. Maybe we can take this further.
Ever since Jason was arrested, I had been carefully planning his escape. There was no way I would let my man rot away and face the death penalty so easily. But for this plan to work, I needed his cooperation and his fearlessness. That night, I posted a tweet calling on Jason's fan club to dress up as Harley Quinn and cause chaos near the prison. Meanwhile, I arranged for an ambulance to be on standby. During the commotion, we would slip inside and smuggle Jason out under the guise of a suicide emergency. The ambulance driver was a veteran member of Jason's fan club. She was the one who provided me with a microblade, but I still had to double-check her ID. Harley Quinn real?
That's right, let's go get our Joker.
Everything went according to plan. We entered the prison without a hitch. Time to pick up our Joker. I saw him again. Even though I had expected him to be injured, seeing him unconscious on the stretcher still made my heart ache. Only one person can come in the ambulance. It's tight inside. We need space for the patient to breathe. With Jason loaded into the ambulance and only one prison guard accompanying us, we started our escape. You're tougher than I thought. That cut was less than an inch from your artery.
Gotta be crazy enough if you want people to go crazy for me.
I was still pondering Jason's cryptic words when... bang! A gunshot shattered the air. The ambulance screeched to a sudden stop, throwing me off balance. The prison guard took the bullet and collapsed right before my eyes. I had planned to take care of him quietly, but my so-called ally turned out to be way more unhinged than I expected. And the craziest part? She had the audacity to kiss Jason right in front of me. Her eyes gleamed with a twisted challenge, as if to say she was the real Harley Quinn, the only one worthy of standing beside Joker. My mind exploded in rage. I wanted to kill that woman right there and then.
You're being naughty, sweetheart. You want to fight my Harley?
The lack of oxygen made my head spin. I couldn't even process his words properly. Before I knew it, I was shoved violently out of the ambulance. Was he mad at me? Just because I was jealous of that fake Harley Quinn? Jason, I'm sorry. I'll listen to you. I swear, just don't leave me. I begged, desperate, but Jason didn't care. After everything I had done for him, he still saw me as nothing but prey. Panic surged through me as I lunged toward the road. The ambulance swerved, nearly grazing my back like the blade of a guillotine. I gasped, whipping my head around. The dark forest stretched endlessly around me, silent, empty. It was just me and those two bloodthirsty killers. I was going to die, to be nothing more than spaghetti sauce under Jason's wheels. But then, bang, bang, bang! A barrage of gunfire erupted, forcing the two murderers to retreat. Police sirens screamed through the air. Jason and his new Harley had no choice but to run. My body went limp. My heart pounded so violently it hurt. I couldn't even tell what I was feeling anymore. Pain, excitement, satisfaction, or maybe emptiness? My Joker. He just vanished before my eyes.
Her mental state is extremely unstable. She frequently engages in self-harm and experiences hallucinations. For now, she needs to stay in the hospital.
I am Harley Quinn. Only Joker is worthy of me. My chest hurt, tight and suffocating like a boulder pressing down on me. I struggled to breathe, thrashed around and suddenly jolted awake.
Emily, don't be scared. I'm here. We're still alive.
I took a deep breath, trying to calm myself down. That's right, Jaden and I were visiting a village in the valley. On the way, a massive landslide happened, but luckily we had gotten off the bus before it hit.
Yeah, when Emily screamed that the bus was going to be caught in a landslide and started yelling to get off, I seriously thought she'd lost it. But right at that moment, I suddenly got a stomachache, so I had no choice but to get off with them. And you know what? Everything that happened after was exactly like in her dream. This is insane.
Blurry images flashed through my mind. I remembered telling Jaden about my dream, and we both decided to get off. So, the accident really did happen? I quickly grabbed my phone and checked the news. As expected, everything unfolded just like in my dream. The only difference was that Jaden, Lucas, and I had escaped the death trap. But since we survived the landslide, an eerie sense of unease clung to me, like cold, watchful eyes lurking in the shadows, like I was prey already, marked by a hunter. Once again, I woke up from a nightmare, my mind foggy. It's been almost a month since the accident, yet that nightmare keeps repeating every night.
Emily, you're awake? I asked Julia to make some salmon soup for you.
Since the accident, Jaden had always been by my side, taking care of me. As soon as I caught the fishy smell, my mind immediately connected it to the overwhelming stench of blood at the crash site. My stomach twisted, and I felt a wave of nausea. Seeing my reaction, Jaden quickly told the maid to take the soup away, then turned to me with concern.
Are you okay? Does your stomach hurt?
I don't know, but I have a bad feeling something has happened. Suddenly, my phone chimed. A message from a friend. He told me that Lucas was dead. Lucas was the only other survivor besides my husband and me. Could it be that death has started claiming its victims? Jaden, death is still watching us. He'll come and take us in the most painful way possible. Jaden tried to comfort me, but the unease inside me only grew stronger.
No one can escape my scythe. The nightmares kept repeating, leaving me sleepless every night. My body was exhausted beyond limit.
Emily, come with me. I found a way to free you from these nightmares.
I had no idea what Jaden had planned, but I still followed him, an uneasy feeling growing inside me. Jaden led me to the basement, and the sight before me left me stunned. Julia, our housemaid, was lying unconscious, tied to a table. A sickening feeling crept into my gut. Jaden was about to do something insane. As if to confirm my fears, he suddenly placed a knife in my hand.
Emily, all we have to do is offer someone as a sacrifice to death. He will spare us and grant us the lifespan of the one we sacrifice.
Jaden, but that means we're murdering someone.
Don't be afraid, Emily. I've taken care of everything. Julia only has a brother with autism. He can't take care of himself. As long as we send him Julia's salary every month, no one will question her disappearance.
Jaden gripped my hand tightly and thrust the knife down. Hot blood splattered onto my face. I screamed in horror. I had become a murderer. I woke up in the middle of the night once again. Ever since we took Julia's life, I had been haunted by bloody visions of that horrifying night. Jaden, lying beside me, quickly woke up, his voice filled with concern. But I couldn't hear a thing. My ears were ringing. It seemed my body had reached its limit, worn down by guilt and endless sleepless nights. A sharp pain shot through my stomach. Jaden rushed me to the hospital in the middle of the night. We sped down the empty road when suddenly, the path ahead was blocked. It looked like the road was under maintenance. A deep sense of unease gripped my heart. I told Jaden to slow down and find another route.
Don't worry, I'll find another way.
But something felt wrong. Jaden tried to hit the brakes, but they weren't working. His frantic stomps did nothing. Right before my eyes, the brake pedal snapped off. Horrified, I looked ahead. The construction site was getting closer, but the car wasn't slowing down. We were about to crash into the workers. My heart stopped. I heard the tires screeching against the pavement, the car jerking violently as Jaden swerved. A deafening crash. The car finally came to a stop, but not before slamming into a construction truck. Giant steel rods tore through the cabin, impaling Jaden. Jaden! Jaden! Wake up! Someone help my husband! Jaden! I screamed desperately for help, but as my vision blurred and consciousness slipped away, only one thought echoed in my mind. Death would never let us go. When I woke up again, I was in a hospital bed. I screamed for my husband, but all I got in return was the doctor's cold, unwavering voice.
Ms. Emily, I'm sorry to inform you. Your husband didn't make it. But please, try to stay calm and take care of yourself, because you're not alone anymore.
I froze, my hands trembling as they moved to my stomach. Doctor, are you saying I'm pregnant?
Yes, you're 8 weeks along, but your body is severely weakened. The baby is fragile, and today, there have already been signs of a possible miscarriage. You need to rest.
My mind spiraled in confusion when suddenly, a cold light flashed across my face, sending a chill through my entire body. A male nurse barged into the room, gripping a razor-sharp knife.
Die, you monster!
Instinct kicked in. I threw a pillow at the crazed man, trying to defend myself. Who are you? I don't know you. Please calm down. You must have the wrong person.
Wrong person? You and your husband murdered Julia!
His words sent terror through my veins. Julia's death had been discovered. How did her brother find me? My head spun as a sharp pain ripped through my stomach. Hospital security rushed in, easily restraining the imposter. But even as they dragged him away, he didn't flinch. No fear, no pain, only curses spilling from his lips. The agony in my stomach grew unbearable. Blood poured from me. No, I can't lose Jaden's only child. Doctor, please, save my baby. I can't lose it. Darkness crept over me. With the last bit of strength I had, I prayed to death. Take me instead. Just let my baby live. I am Julia. I have been shunned by the entire village because of the ugly scar on my face. I lived with Marcus, a blind man with a pure heart. But sometimes I wondered, if Marcus could see my ugly face, would he still love me? Though my heart was filled with worries, I still loved Marcus dearly. Recently, couples in the village had been mysteriously disappearing. The villagers believed that our love was a curse that brought misfortune upon them. Whenever we went out, they would point fingers and curse at us. One furious couple even shouted,
"Go away, you cursed pair!"
Overwhelmed by anger, I picked up a small stone and threw it back at them. The murmurs and gossip grew fiercer. But the next day, that couple suddenly went missing. The villagers immediately accused us of being the culprits. We were dragged into the street and pelted with stones. I cried and tried to prove my innocence. But the villagers ignored me. Suddenly, the village chief appeared. He calmed the crowd, urging them to continue searching for the missing couple. The villagers reluctantly dispersed. The chief whispered to us.
Poor souls, go to the statue of Cupid and pray sincerely. He will take pity on you and grant you blessings.
We thanked the chief and followed his advice. We were praying before Cupid's statue, but a voice suddenly echoed.
Who is praying here? Cupid cannot turn a blind eye to unfortunate love. Oh, you pitiful souls, follow me.
Cupid led us to his castle, where we were welcomed with a feast. Marcus joyfully drank a glass of wine. For a brief moment, I saw his eyes come to life.
I can see the light. Is that you, Julia?
His joyful expressions suddenly turned to horror. I didn't understand what was happening, but I knew at that moment Marcus had seen my ugly appearance. Shame overwhelmed me. Marcus's eyes returned to their usual blindness, but his face twisted in pain.
That was the temporary effect of the divine wine. Don't dwell on it. Now tell me your wishes.
I immediately begged Cupid to bless us with eternal love, so that the villagers would accept us as normal people.
I wish to share my desire in private.
Unable to bear the worry in my heart, I followed them and eavesdropped from behind a wall.
Make me able to see, I'm begging you.
Very well, but on one condition. You must offer a heart in exchange.
Marcus fell silent, but his silence was like a deafening explosion in my heart. After the wine feast, we returned home.
I am Marcus. A cruel illness stole the light from my eyes. If I regained my sight, could I find a prettier girl? But Julia had cared for me all this time. How could I betray her? Suddenly, I heard the village chief's voice.
Is something troubling you, young man?
I poured out my heart to him. The chief whispered.
True love demands sacrifice. Stop hesitating. Take her heart in exchange for your sight. Your life will be happier.
I stood over Julia's bed, listening to her steady breaths. She was deep asleep. Julia's tearful voice broke the silence.
Marcus, this breaks my heart. You don't have to dirty your hands.
She pressed the blade through her own chest.
Be happy. Take my heart for your eyes.
Oh no, what had I done? Julia was the one who loved me most in this world, and yet I had betrayed her. No, I had to beg Cupid to save her. Cupid, where are you? I called out, but there was no answer, only a chilling silence. I groped in the darkness, and my hand touched something rough, shaped like wings. I had heard that Cupid had wings, but if the wings were here, where was Cupid? Suddenly, a voice rang out.
Have you brought the heart?
My hands trembled as I held Julia's heart. Her heart was snatched away. Is that you, Cupid? Please return her heart and bring her back to life. I no longer want my sight.
There is no Cupid here, you naive fools.
A stinging pain burned my cheek as I trembled in fear. What do you mean?
I need 100 hearts from loving couples to create the elixir of immortality. You were so easy to deceive. The village chief received a hefty sum for luring couples like you here.
I was devastated. It was all a scam. I couldn't hold back my tears. Julia was dead because of my impulsive trust in that fraud and the village chief.
Now your hearts belong to me.
I never believed in lasting love. At least, not for me. I believed in momentum, in sparks that ignited fast and burned out just as quickly. Apps like Tinder, they weren't for finding a soulmate. They were playgrounds for pleasure, fleeting and fun. A swipe here, a drink there, a night of passion. No promises, no disappointments. That night I wasn't even looking. I was bored, curious, restless. Then came Mark. He wasn't just attractive, he was curated. Tousled hair, well-cut jawline, eyes that looked like they saw through filters. His bio was maddeningly simple. I cook well. I never rush a meal. And yet it hit something. It felt mature, confident, real. We matched instantly, his first message.
Dinner tonight?
I replied, where and when? By 9:43 p.m, I was on my way to his house outside the city. Mark's place was more than a house. It was a villa, hidden behind high hedges, sleek, modern, and warm with soft lighting. When I stepped inside, the smell of rosemary and smoked meat embraced me. He greeted me in a crisp shirt, sleeves rolled.
Welcome. I hope you're hungry.
A long table waited, adorned with wine, candles, and a small tray of homemade pâté. You made this? I thought he was being dramatic, artsy, maybe a little eccentric. He explained how the pâté was made, from how the liver must be handled to the chilling process. I laughed. He was intense, passionate, but charming. We drank red wine, talked, flirted. After the dinner, Mark showed me his kitchen, meticulously arranged, all top-tier chef equipment, each blade gleaming. Mark was obsessed with knives, artisan blades, carbon steel, perfectly honed. He showed me a custom paring knife from Japan, then whispered like a secret. He said, half joking, "You sound like Gordon Ramsay on a date."
More like Hannibal with manners.
I didn't catch the red flag. I was too busy drinking melting under his gaze. The heat between us grew. Touches lingered. His hands slid along my waist, then lips met lips, and we lost ourselves in the moment. As he trailed kisses along my neck, he whispered, almost breathless,
I'm still hungry, and you look delicious. Do you want to be my dinner tonight?
I giggled, aroused. Of course. I thought it was a kink, a game. Maybe he wanted to carry me to the kitchen table. Maybe he had whipped cream hidden somewhere. His lips pressed more firmly, but something shifted. His grip tightened, not seductive, but possessive. His breath grew shallow. Then I felt it, the unmistakable chill of cold metal. A sharp prick at the base of my skull. I tensed. Not playful, not sexy. He said flatly.
I mean it.
It took me a second to process. Then two. His eyes were no longer warm. They were vacant, detached. Mark, what are you doing? His smile remained, but it no longer belonged to a man flirting. Before I could scream, he moved, swift, precise. Something jabbed at my neck, a sudden jolt, like a taser. The pain wasn't deep, but it sent a paralyzing shockwave through my spine. My muscles seized, my vision blurred. I collapsed, limbs flailing uselessly, thoughts scattering like marbles across a floor I could no longer feel. Then darkness. I woke up strapped to a table in the center of the sleek, high-end kitchen. My body was numb, my arms and legs splayed and tied down with thick rope that scraped against my skin. The room wasn't cold like a morgue. It was warm, humid, and filled with a nauseating blend of aromas. Bleach, charred meat, fresh herbs, and something unmistakably metallic. To my left, a prep station gleamed with precision tools. Mandolins, mincers, boning knives. On the kitchen island sat a bowl of something marinating. Was it beef? Pork? My stomach twisted. I tried to scream, but my throat was sandpaper dry. My tongue stuck to the roof of my mouth. My limbs were bound tightly, thick leather straps cut into my skin, keeping me spread and helpless. Footsteps. Then Mark entered, donning a blood-smeared apron like a chef ready for his shift. There was a shimmer in his eyes. Not joy, not madness, but something twisted in between.
You're awake. Good. The first time should be memorable.
What the hell is this? I rasped, terror making my voice crack.
I always wondered what it would be like,
he said, almost dreamy.
After watching Hannibal, it just clicked. You're perfect. Fresh. Clean. Beautiful.
He approached with a paring knife, its edge honed to perfection.
Blood type A, right? They say it's the most flavorful.
He pressed the blade to my neck. A stinging slice. I screamed. He caught the blood, tasted it, then gagged, violently, his face contorted in horror. He stumbled to the sink and vomited, retching like a poisoned man. The knife clattered to the table. He was too busy heaving to notice that my eyes had locked onto the knife on the floor. My wrist twisted painfully toward it. Awkward, strained, the cold steel kissed the edge of the rope binding my wrist. I began to saw. Once. Twice. The blade bit into the coarse fiber and grazed my skin. Pain flared hot and raw, but I didn't stop. Mark groaned again, spitting bile into the sink, muttering something about preparation and balance of flavor. The rope snapped with a frayed gasp. I yanked my wrist free, the skin beneath it raw and bleeding, my pulse pounding in my ears like war drums. I moved quickly to my ankles. The knots were tight, stubborn, soaked with my own sweat. My fingers slipped once, twice, but I didn't stop. I clawed and sawed and twisted until at last, the final rope loosened and I kicked free. He turned.
No, not yet.
I snatched the knife, stumbled to my feet, and lunged, not at him, but at the sleek wall oven beside me. The blade drove deep. Glass shattered. Gas hissed like a snake let loose. Flames erupted in an instant, racing across the countertop. He screamed, not for me, but for the oven.
No! That's a $6,000 Viking!
I toppled a prep table into his path, the clang loud as a gunshot, then sprinted into the smoke-choked hallway without looking back. I grabbed my phone from a table near the entryway. 1% battery. 911, please help. But Mark's voice echoed from behind.
You can't leave. You're not done yet.
I bolted for the front door, flung it open, only to find the outer gate locked. No keypad, no handle. I darted into the bushes, phone in hand. I crouched, heart in my mouth. Tinder notifications pinged in quick succession.
You can't escape me! I told you, this is my first time.
I muted my phone, uninstalled the app, but another message arrived through Premium Override.
I fixed the oven. Sorry for being clumsy. Let's finish what we started. The first time is always messy.
A sound, footsteps, buzz of electricity, then a voice inches from the brush.
And honey, I brought a cleaner blade this time.